What's up, good people? Welcome back to another Q&A with BA. I know we keeping y'all on y'all toes. It's supposed to be Thursday at 2 p.m., but here we are Wednesday at 4, and I'm glad that y'all with us nonetheless because we're going to continue to bring this value. Today, we're going to talk about something that a lot of people struggle with. Like, how do I go out and talk about my business, promote my business on social media without feeling weird about doing it? And so praise, brought this up. I think is very important. If it's anything I know is this. The amount of money that you truly want to make is on the other side of the things that you're bothered of doing. The money that you truly want to make is on the other side of the things that you're bothered about doing. And so I'm gonna help y'all today, hopefully get some framework, some context, and some practical steps on getting on the other side of your discomfort, and not just by trying to make you feel good about it, but by giving you some things that you can do regardless of how you feel about it to still get it done. And so, with all that being said, P, welcome back. Feel like we didn't talked every day this week somewhere. I don't know. You know what I mean? I thought yesterday was Friday, so that just tell you how my week been going. Bro, I've been talking literally for like 5 hours straight.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
man.
Like I just tried to run in the kitchen and get some watermelon, and then I'm upset because my seedless watermelon got all these seeds in it, and so it's just you know what I'm saying, like real world problems we dealing with here. And my watermelon got seeds in it. Like this shouldn't be happening right now, but nonetheless, you know what I'm saying, we back.
Yeah, man. I am. You make me. Your lifestyle makes me thankful for the one that God is letting me live right now, because I know when I get to your level, talking for 5 hours is hefty. That's hefty.
Crazy,
I may be
crazy.
talking for like 30 minutes. The most person I talk to is God. So, I don't got to worry about talking for
Yeah,
5 hours and meeting, but it makes me just grateful for this, because I know I'm going to get to your level and be like, Lord, like, so yeah, man, but I appreciate you, making all this time, and being flexible, man. Like, a lot of people at your level, they not as flexible. Like, I'm telling you, we can we move it here, or does this day work best? And you just keep a flexible schedule. So I appreciate it, man. And these conversations are like gold mines to me. So yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm always ready to be here and locked and loaded. So
for sure, for sure. And as always, right? Everybody that's tuning in, please put your questions in the chat. We will get to them as we talking through, or if you're watching this on replay, feel free to leave comments, and we'll make sure we cover it the following week as well.
yeah, for sure. And
So where you want to start?
man, I have a quick. I want you to answer this question, because I know you're gonna drop some gems on this question. But so today I made a video, and I was talking about, if you want to say yes to the life you do want, you have to say no to the life you don't want, right? And I
Hmm.
was like, we say yes to everything. Like I said, that's a problem in this generation. We say yes to growth and distraction. We say yes to going forward and backward. So I want to just ask you about the power of no. And could you just elaborate a little bit on that before we dive into, delivering value?
Hmm. So Scripture says in Amos, "How can two walk in the same direction lest they agree?"
Mm,
Right? Which means that in whatever thing, right? That's talking about partnerships. They're talking about marriage. They're talking about two, but it is synonymous with everything, though, with respects of having a unified front, having a very clear and singular path, right? How can two walk in the same direction lest they agree? One can't be walking this way and one walking this way. And same is true for you. Like, you can't say yes and no at the very same time. It's a capacity issue. There's only 24 hours. There's only so much space. There's only so much time. There's only so much energy. There's only so much physical ability. There's only so much mental capacity. There's only so much. So at some point, no different than If you were to just keep buying new clothes and never take any other ones out, then your closet wouldn't be able to hold the content. So it's it's not only um it's not only not wise, but it's also very dangerous to attempt to continue to say yes to a bunch of things without saying no to something, because you are literally running on limited resources. You are maximizing and maxing out your capacity. You are getting to a point of burning yourself out, and you're never fully committed to anything if you're vacillating between everything.
Mm. No, that's good. That's good.
So
So
as even I'll give you even another example.
yeah,
You just said when we got on here that you appreciate me being flexible in my schedule. I wouldn't have the capacity to be flexible in my schedule if I didn't say no to a bunch of stuff that would otherwise occupy my time.
mm,
If I said yes to every request and I feel my schedule full every single day, if Praise say, "Hey, I can't do Thursday at 2 this week because I got to fly out. Can you do?" I'd be like, "I'm already maxed out to the brim. Like I can't feel anymore."
mm,
So the things that I say no to allow me to build equity in my life for the things that I may decide to say yes to.
that's good. That's good. Laquana asked a question. She said that, I hope I said that name right. She said, how long do you fully commit until you know if it's working or not?
It's a really good question. I don't know why I can't see the chat today. That just threw me off. Um, well, you can, so you're gonna have to. That's your responsibility today. I can't see the chat at all. Like it's open, but I see nothing in it. So, matter of fact, do you see on your side where you could click that show button under it, under like the comment, and then it'll pop it up on the screen?
I don't I don't see it.
Okay, never
Yeah,
mind. We'll,
don't
we'll
see
do
it.
that. We'll do that next time. But Laquana said, "How do you know how far to keep going?" Say that again.
How long do you fully commit until you know if it's working or not?
How long do you fully commit until you know if it's working or not? How long do you fully commit until you know if it's working or not? This is the beautiful part about that question, Laquana. If you fully committed to whatever it is, you'll find out sooner than later that it ain't gonna work.
Mm,
See, that's the most important part about commitment. It's not just that when I throw my everything into this, it succeeds. If I throw my everything into this, I'll find out quicker when it failed. So it's not like a designated time, unfortunately, right? But it is a consistent effort. Here's what happens to people because, and that's why I love the way she framed the question when she said fully committed. People don't fully commit. So what happens is when you don't fully commit, you end up with this shadow of a doubt all the time
mm,
because you don't know. The worst variable you could have in any situation is inconsistency. So if you only show up here and there and you only do the thing kind of by the way, then you're always going to wrestle with this thought in the back of your mind of, did it fail because of it or because of me?
mm. That's good. That's so
See, because I do everything at 100%, good or bad, then at least I know if it went left, it wasn't because I didn't shoot my shot. It wasn't because I didn't prepare it properly. It wasn't, or sometimes if it went left, I could go back and say, "Dang, you know what? I should have ran them last couple reps. That won't happen again." So it helps to give more definition to the wins and the losses by doing it and playing all out. And I think also with that, by praying for wisdom as we're moving in faith, then God rewards that. he'll help you to discern when it's time to shut it down. And I mean, if you are an extreme believer, you can go as far as asking them sometimes for a Gideon type of prayer. Wet the fleece, dry the fleece. You ain't gonna hurt God's feelings. You know what I mean? I promise you that. So uh that will be my recommendation. Like keep going full throttle, and you're either gonna figure out that it's going to work or you're gonna figure out that it's not going to work. But you only figure that out by being fully committed.
Mm. And I have a question to piggyback that. So what does 100% look like? For example, like I have these books that I want to read, and obviously there's the Bible. There's obviously different clips to learn from and watch. There's your YouTube, right? So it's like obviously it's not doing all of these and stuff in my brain. So like, what does 100% look like though? Because like for example, today I feel like I'm going 100%, but I could be, obviously deceiving myself and not going 100%. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
wanted to just ask you, what does 100% look like if you could just give it in a practical way? Because obviously it looks different for everybody.
What was your plan for today?
My plan for today was to wake up, get in the Word. After that, go shopping and pack for my trip tomorrow. Did that. After that, go to the gym. After the gym, get on a call. After the call, read my book, take notes on the book, and then after I read the book, take notes, watch a little sermon, take notes on that, and then start preparing and prepping and eat, and then go get ready for my flight tomorrow. So, yeah,
Okay. So
call
how
me.
much of that did you accomplish?
Majority of it. Majority of it. I've accomplished everything. Like so far, I'm at the call right now. I accomplished everything that I needed to do before the call, and then I'm just planning to finish up the day and get the rest of the notes and studying that I need to get done. But yeah, I've done everything so far.
That would be 100%.
Mm, that's good.
That would be 100%. Right? It's whatever we deem necessary to move the needle in our favor on a day in and day out basis. And if I got up today and I did those things that I deemed to be necessary to move the needle in my business, then I'm winning.
Mm,
Right? I'm putting 100% in. But if I get up and I start looking at this list, and while I was excited when I wrote it, but now I'm discouraged when I read it, that I decide that I'm not going to do it, then I'm not giving it 100%. Because your mood changed, the goal didn't.
that's good, B. That's good. So why do you think it's so easy for people to just not go 100%? Because people don't even be seen. Like I'm gonna use me as an example. So before I came across from you, I was able to get through life going 50%. Like I've been able to get the job going 50%, been able to get the girl going 50%, right? So I was able to do all these things 50%. Um, but I never knew I was going 50% until somebody was like, there's more. Like somebody had to come to tell me, like, you can go 100%. I'm like, what am I not doing that's not, 100%? So why do you think it's just so easy for people to just remain on autopilot or just going 50%, throughout life?
So biblically, Colossians 3 and 23 says, do all your work as if you're doing it for the Lord, not for man's approval, because you know that your inheritance and your reward comes from the Lord. So that's biblically for those out there that's believers, right? So that's a prerequisite to go 100%, because that means you're always doing it for Him,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
So that's honoring God with your 24 hours. I'm not going to just do enough. I'm not just going to just get by. I'm going to do all my work as if I'm doing it for the Lord, not for man's approval. Okay. I'm not going to stop when my boss told me to stop. I'm not going to stop at the bare minimum I told my client. Like, I'm going to go above and beyond. Okay. The the human reason as to why they don't oftentimes is because they why don't make them cry.
Mm,
They why not big enough. The reason they're doing it in the first place not big enough. And so because The reason that they're doing it is fickle, and most of it is based on vanity. And everybody want more resources. Everybody want more money. Everybody want a nicer car. Everybody want a nicer house, right? Um, Everybody want those things, but 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 the thing that's requisite to do to get there, everybody don't want. Everybody don't want the smoke. And I would tell you that my worst day in business still better than my best day at work.
Mm,
Because at the end of the day, I know, even on my worst day in business, that there's an opportunity for me to have my best day the next day. Legitimately, there's no cap, limitation, impediment on my potential to reach new heights on a day in and day out basis. I don't care how good I cut the cheese at work. My pay ain't changing. Probably not even getting acknowledged for whatever I'm. So my worst day in business is always better than my best day at work because I know no 2 days are the same, and the sun got to come out again.
mm,
And it's a new opportunity for me to go and get on the other side. And I done had some hellacious seasons in business, right? But the lifestyle that I desire for myself, my family, and for anybody else that God put in my pathway to bless, I don't have a choice but to do what I'm supposed to do every day. Or I can't live with me. So it don't matter what I told everybody. I'm crazy with these words. I can convince everybody else, but I can't confuse this guy. And so I can't be out of alignment with myself.
mm.
I can't get up and look at this list and be like, I can, but then I'm like, but how I'm gonna lead people and tell them what they supposed to do with their list if I can't do the things necessary with mine? So for me, serving and helping people actually is like one of the best mirrors that I could possibly have. And because I won't play with him, that disallows me to play with them.
Mm.
But at the core of it all, bro, people just they don't a lot of the time they don't know really why they do what they do. They know what they want, but they don't know why they do what they do. And as a result of that, when they met with some resistance, it become too easy to retreat and go the opposite direction.
Mm. Man, no, that's good.
Why? I mean, why would you go through the pain if you don't really have to? Like I know I have to go through it. I got to be the first one through the door, kick the door open, and deal with the flames, so that the people behind me don't have to.
Mm.
I accept that as my lot in life. But I think most people just want the fringe benefits. They want the body, but they don't want the surgery.
No, this is good, B. Because I realized, like, even in, um, it's so funny because how you said serving and helping people is the biggest mirror. So I told my community about what you brought up about fitness, right? And I told them, I sent them the same verse. I was like, hey, y'all, we got to take our fitness seriously. The next day, I went to go buy all my meal prep, and I texted the group chat like, hey, y'all, got my meal prep, going to the gym. I'm like, hey, y'all, I'm about to go to the gym. But it's like, I can't tell you guys to take your health serious. And I'm the last person that's taking it serious. I'm like, that you're never gonna believe a word I say. So when you saying that, it's so good. But I've even realized that the the amount of people that want the desired outcome, and like you said, they're not willing to go through what they need to go through in order to get it, is absurd to me. But I believe, and obviously, everything could be used as a tool. Everything should be used as a tool, but some things become our masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when you was like, you said this about money. You were like, money's a great slave, but a terrible master. Um, and I feel like that's the same thing with things about like social media and technology, because it's like people live their life as if they could just double tap and they got the like, or they got the body, or they could just open up the app and everything. I'm like, life don't work that way. Like, I told them in the chat that I got all my meal prep food. They're like, oh, you really trying to get it right? I'm like, you think this weight is gonna lose itself? Like, you think God is just gonna magically just sculpt my body? And I'm like, it doesn't work like that, because
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about something. I was meditating today, and I was like, one of the best things that we have is respondability, not just
Mm-hmm.
responsibility. We have the ability to respond better.
Mm-hmm.
And I was meditating on that because I feel like people are underestimating their ability to respond. If you don't like the way you've been responding to the life you have now, change the way you've been responding. So that's what made me get up today, even just with more determination, because like obviously your level is a level I want to reach, but I'm like, if I'm unwilling to go through what I need to go through at this level, I am most definitely not going to want to go through it at your level, like at all. I may not even reach your level if I don't even go through what I need to go through at this level. So I was just realizing like I I was just catching more of the things that I was romanticizing about but wasn't willing to work for,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I can romanticize like, oh, when I have this money and I build a business, I'm like, the bigger the business, the more things I have to manage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking big business, I'm chilling, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm be kicked feet up. No, conferences, talks, meetings, right? Checking. But we're in a generation who they just want microwave, right? They want to put it in the microwave 30 seconds and just warm up their life. And I've had to honestly just check myself, like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Right. Because there were so many days where, like you said, I'll face some issues and resistance, and I'm like, all right, so, like, yeah, I tried, right? And it's like, so am I doing? I'm gonna be for real, B. Let's listen, B. Let me keep it a buck. I done try some things, right? I'll face some resistance. I'm like, man, B can keep doing all that. I'm gonna stay myself right over here. I'm not doing none of that, right? Until I realized, like, I would rather do what I have to do to get the life I do want than complain about the life I don't want.
Yeah. Life hard as hell, bro. I'm just, I'm just being honest. Like, it just is. I don't care how you slice it. And all these people run around on the internet like every day, uh, bro, life hard as hell.
Yeah,
And I can tell you what, if you become the person with money, life gets easier, right? Like life gets easier if you're willing to become the person. Um, but as a general consensus, I know that I'm gonna have to go find a cool place in hell, or I'm gonna go through the pain of trying to experience as much as heaven as I can on this side of earth.
100%.
And a lot of people, they they've accepted their cool place in hell,
Mm,
and they deal with the sporadic um, heat wave, right? So they found their cool place in hell. So it's like, okay, this the devil I know. So I'm gonna stay here in this spot. And then they have their occasional heat wave where the temperature get turned up just a little bit more. A life event, right? Uh, a divorce, a financial situation. My car went out, right? They had these things come up. You know what I mean? That's like
yeah,
that throws the temperature off of where they're normal, because they already uncomfortable, right? In the normal place, this cool place in hell that they found. And then, like I said, these sporadic heat waves come through, and it just be ready to take them out. They be like, oh, right? So that's a form of hard. Then on the other side of that, you like, I don't want nothing to do with hell, period. And so I'm just gonna go over here and try to do something I ain't never seen before, and really become rich and wealthy and build generational wealth and turn my thoughts into things and like use my gifts and my talents and make impact and income and all the things, right? That's a different kind of hard, but the upside is better for that hard than the other one.
Yeah.
With the one hard, the best I'm gonna get is what I got. I just accepted that. So I'm in pain with no upside. The only thing I can wait for is these intermittent heat waves that come through that almost take me out. As opposed to over here, yeah, I'm gonna endure a ton as I climb. But I get to see more and more the higher I get, though.
Mm.
I get to experience more and more the higher I get. I get to feel why I'm really here on earth. I wasn't here on earth to find a cool place in hell. I was here on earth to try to experience as much as heaven as possible. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. What does that mean? I'm supposed to be trying to experience as much as heaven on this side of earth. So how dare me go find a cool place in hell and call myself comfortable? It's hard. And so to your point, you either gonna make the choice to do the things that are hard that get you the life that you do want, or you're gonna still live in the reality of hard in a life that you don't want. Because it ain't that people want that life. They know it's hell. And they know that they found a cool little corner somewhere in it. But they tell themselves and others the lie that they're content when they're not. They're lazy, they're complacent, and they're scared to do the work to get out of it.
Man.
Why? Because they much rather buy gifts to pacify their families instead of putting their families in position to build businesses.
Mm.
Everybody loses. You losing the money, stuck in your miserable business or job. They don't really have a true jump start, and you're really setting a bad example for them of what success is supposedly look like. Success is not being a consumer, it's being a builder. Success is not about how much you can buy, it's about how much can you build.
Mm.
So anyway, you want to talk about content. I don't know where that rant came from. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I can't see the comment, so if there were any middle fingers in there, I ain't see them today. You know, I'm just telling y'all now.
No, man, that's so good. I just and before I pivot and ask these questions about the content, yeah, it's just I there as I read through scripture, I see God constantly like he's constantly giving reminders like, hey, I'm God, don't be afraid, don't be scared, rely on me, I'm God, right? He keeps saying these reminders. And one of my biggest things that I've been praying in my prayer closet is to help me not have God amnesia to where I think you're good on Monday and I think you're bad on Tuesday. I know you split the Red Sea on Wednesday, and then I don't know how to talk to you on Thursday. I was like, I can't live a life of me forgetting who you are anymore. Like I was tired of it because I'll go through some resistance. I remember who God is. I don't face no resistance. I forget who God is. I'm like, I can't keep living this type of life where my mood is dictating his sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm tired of living like that. So I've been praying about it because I've realized so many people not only have God amnesia, they have life amnesia. They're like, look, one day they're uncomfortable, the next day they're comfortable. One day I'm like, how long are you going to live a lukewarm life? Like I had to sit there and ask myself that. But I love having these conversations because it's a reminder for me to do what is necessary to get to where I want to go. For example, months ago, let's say this time last year, I did not expect to be speaking to you. The Lord was like, I just need you to lock in. I just need you to study more. I need you to read more. Not knowing this conversation was going to be coming, not knowing this time was going to happen. Right. And I've been just learning how to make faith decisions instead of
Mhm.
just counterfeit decisions, right?
Mhm.
Because they'll please me in the moment, and then when I need to carry a heavier weight in my life down the road, I'm too weak for it.
Mhm.
So I've just been, loving these reminders, because I'm like, people need to be reminded of what they're doing and why they're doing it and what it's going to take to get there, or else you're just going to keep having amnesia about the life that you want. One day you're like, oh, I want to be great. Tuesday you're like, oh, I don't want to be great no more. It's like you can't keep living life like that. But that's what you clearly see throughout the entire Bible, reminder after reminder after reminder, because of how quick we forget, because of what
Mhm.
situation we're in or what circumstance we're in. And I was just tired of living like that, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to get right to the promised land and then I forget who God is, and then I don't get to see my promised land like Moses.
Mhm.
I don't want
Mhm.
to do that. So that's why I love having these conversations, because it's a constant reminder to be great, but be it, and it even says it in scripture. And it says it like this in the Message version. It says, great gifts, great responsibilities, greater gifts, greater responsibility. Right. So it's like, I want to make sure I'm remembering, not only is I'm grateful for the gift, I need to be attending to my responsibility, the things that I need to get done. So that's why I love just having these conversations, to remind myself I need to do what's necessary, regardless if the people around me think it's what I should be doing. But yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off of that. So now pivoting,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, like today you dropped a video and you were like, nobody can beat you at being you, and you touched a little bit on this on the coaching call last night about being intentional with learning, um because and a sub component of that was your when you were like, you shouldn't be preparing and performing at the same time, which was so strong. So I wanted to ask, how do you deliver content better, right? You gave me a framework before, right, where you was like, you pick them up from point A, you know point B, you give them your point B and drop them off at point C. And I just wanted to know, how can I deliver my content better? Because don't get me wrong, the things I'm saying is good, right? My video may be like a minute 30, but I'm like, I don't know how many people are staying to watch a minute 30. So I'm like, is there a way to deliver it better, and to squeeze it in more? Is it certain words that, like, what is that? How do you deliver content better? So I wanted to ask that, because I see you do it so aimlessly. Like today with the no one can beat you at being you, I'm like, yeah, like no one can't beat me. I'm starting to get fired up just in the way you're delivering it. Even though
Mhm.
I've heard the message, it's the way
Mhm.
you're delivering it that makes it resonate with me. So I wanted to ask, how do you go about delivering content better?
That's really good. By no means, right? Am I the end all be all on how you do this?
For
Okay.
sure.
But I know a couple of things that's been working and been effective. Okay. Hook story offer is like a phenomenal framework for creating content. So to your point, right, the time by which somebody watches the content is very important. That's a metric that the algorithm is tracking, because the platform's goal is to keep them on the platform. So if they run it into content that is disinteresting to them, then they're not going to put that out to a bunch of people, because they may close the app and then go to another app, right? So the algorithm's job is to keep them on the platform, and our job as the business owner, as the coach or the consultant or the expert, is to get them off the platform. Meaning, we getting an email, we getting them into a community of sorts. Like we don't want to be held hostage to only communicating with them on the platform. So we market ourselves on the platform to eventually get them off the platform. Okay. So we got two different roles here. The platform and the algorithm is trying to keep them on the platform. Your job is to do something meaningful enough on the platform to get them off the platform. Okay. That's a different coaching session for another day. So we'll just stick to the content for now though. So the hook is, what do you say in the first 3 seconds to let somebody know what this video is going to be about, or that it can cause chaos, curiosity, contrast, conflict in the first 3 seconds. So I don't remember the video, but I'll take your word for it. I said, nobody can beat you at being you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty empowering for anybody that was to stop and watch that, right?
Sure.
So it's like, tell me more, right? So the hook is No, see, I think people think of a hook as if it's got to be a question. It
Mm,
can be, but ultimately it needs to be a pattern interrupter, right? Nobody can beat you at being you. I don't know who this guy is, but he talking spicy. Let me listen. And then I go into the story. So now I give context to my content.
mm,
One of the biggest problems people have when creating content is that they're providing too much context before they provide the content.
mm,
Nobody knows you nor cares about what you're talking about until you tell them why they should listen. So, which is hard, right? So, good communicators in general want to be understood. So, we would prefer, as a good communicator, to provide the context before the content. We would want to tell what we're talking about. We want to preface it to prepare the person for what we're about to say next. But that's not the way social media, you don't win on social media like that. People want you to tell them, then explain it, not explain it, then tell them.
mm.
They don't trust you enough. You haven't earned their time to watch you. So you got to tell them what's in it for them. So hook, then you tell the story, which gives them context to the hook, and then you make the offer. The offer could be share this with a friend, leave a comment below, go do this immediately, whatever that is, that's your call to action. So hook story offer is like a phenomenal framework. And I think it will continue to be, it has been for decades. I think it'll continue to be going forward. But we just got to get better in the first 3 seconds at establishing why should somebody hang out with us for the next 50 seconds or whatever the case may be.
Mm. Oh, that's good. And should there be, do you have like a certain time frame of how long the content should be? Like, because there's some videos that I've shot and it's just too much explaining. Like, let's just cut to the chase. It's just too much explaining. It's like, I know I'm probably not gonna go back and watch everything that I explained. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like, do you have like a time frame of how long you're gonna be talking about uh whatever topic that you're recording that day? Like, what is that mindset like when you thinking about the time frame?
So, as a general consensus, if I'm shooting short form content, I mean, I know it's got to be a minute or so, right?
Mm,
Although you can go up to 5 minutes on some of these platforms now, I know it needs to be a minute or so, right? So when I shoot it, I'm I'm not shooting it to think about how long it needs to be. I'm shooting it to think about how concise can I be while communicating clearly.
mm,
It's concise communication that converts. Concise communication that converts on content. That's the content game. One of the reasons why I'm a big fan of preparing more than you're performing is because if you're preparing and performing simultaneously and you're doing more performing more than you're preparing, one of my mentors says a prepared man is better than a prepared message, right? One of our coaching clients, she mentioned earlier today on our mastermind call, she was like, honestly, when I stopped trying to like sketch out all my lives and exactly what I was gonna say, and I just cut on the video and started talking, those came out better. It's like exactly because a prepared man is better than a prepared message.
mm.
There's a time by which we need to prepare our messages. I'm not saying that you get up there and freestyle with 1,000 people in the room, as many of y'all do. You should not do that. But but what I am saying is if you're spending more time trying to craft the perfect video, chances are you don't know your subject topic well enough that you could speak about it concisely enough,
Mm,
which is why we need to spend more time not listening enough to regurgitate, but processing enough to understand. If you get the wisdom from whatever it is that you see, knowledge is understanding something. Wisdom is understanding how to apply the knowledge. So first we learn it so we get the knowledge. But then as we understand it, we get the wisdom as to how to apply the knowledge. So now, because I understand this concept so well, I can explain it to somebody else concisely to get them to understand it. That's when I know it. So what happens is many people talk too much about stuff they don't really know. That's why all them fly by night coaches got washed out after COVID, because people was just going reading stuff and regurgitating it, but they never really learned it though. They didn't know it. And so it's just really shallow. You'd be better off spending less time creating content and more time creating yourself. Because if it come out like word salad, ain't nobody watching no way.
No, that's good. That's good.
Let me know if they picking this up in the chat. I don't know if we lost them or not. Is the chat still, y'all still with us?
Yeah,
Let
y'all
me know
still.
if this.
That was good. I hope y'all getting this. Man, that was good. That was good. Yeah, because I was realizing that, because now that I've seen your way of communicating, I've seen, yeah, they said they tracking.
Okay.
It's good. Yeah, okay. Um yeah, I've in studying the way you've been communicating, it's it's prompted me to study the art of communication,
Mm-hmm.
because you communicate in so many different ways, and it's like I said, it's like a boxing match. Like you just don't know when the uppercut is coming, but you know it's coming eventually. Like in this whole conversation, you've thrown the uppercut. I don't know when it's coming. I just know you're gonna do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're so prepared that it's like I can't even time when you're gonna do something. Like you're it's just so like, even if I try to predict you, you do something that's unpredictable just because of how prepared you are. So it's made me want to study the art of communication and understanding the when to pause, how to pause, the reason for pausing, the reason you'll say something, you'll take a break, and you'll go right back, and then you like. There's so many different elements of it, but just in the way you've been communicating, it made me want to study the art of it, because I was like, once my words get better, because life and death is in the power of the tongue, everything is gonna get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been seeing the seamless trend. Like for example, the video you made today, where it's like no one can beat you at being you. It was one of your more like joyful posts, but you were still
Mm-hmm.
direct and serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were still being Brian. You were like, yeah, nobody can beat you at being you. Like you can't. You were like, you can't copy their answers off their tests because you got different answers for your test. But it was still like a gut punch. But you were like I feel better about being myself in this video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody could deliver that same message and feel worse about being themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So
Correct.
I'm seeing the different elements of you communicating, because I'm realizing that in people have, obviously at my age, through God's grace and whatnot, they've obviously commended me on my communication, but to the level that I want to communicate at, and to the level of business I want to get to, I'm like, my level of communication has to start improving immediately. Like as much as I love
Mm-hmm.
where it is, this isn't the best it can be, obviously, right? But in seeing the way you just seamlessly pivot in your content, if it's either because even in the YouTube videos at times there'll be times where you like, let me just show y'all that I'm Brian instead of coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just do it so seamlessly, but I'm seeing how that's what makes you an attractive communicator. That's like, I want to hear what you're going to say next. And that's the reason why I'm focused on asking you these questions, because I know once I get better at being more concise, I'll get better at just delivering as well, right? It'll
Yeah.
be better, because I was realizing I would say my 3 second hook, right? And for example, like today, I was like, if you want to say yes to the life you don't want, you got to say no to the life. If you want to say yes to the life you do want, you got to say no to the life you don't want. But I'm like, there's other ways I can. Throughout the whole thing, I started explaining, but I'm like, there's so many other ways I could have squeezed.
Yeah. I see what you're
Yeah,
saying now. So
yeah,
first of all, thank you for that acknowledgement. It's always something to work on, right?
yeah.
And people mistaking the ability to speak from the ability to communicate.
Mm, hold up, run that back.
People mistaken the ability to speak with the ability to communicate.
That's so good. Now, can you dive into what communication is?
100%. So very simply put, the ability to speak is the ability to articulate thoughts.
Mm.
It's a lot of articulate people. They run around with master's degrees, PhDs, certifications. No, I'm not
Not,
coming for them. I'm just being
not
honest.
for real. Yeah.
But by using vernacular that only the esteemed would understand, then you're not communicating with anybody. You're talking at them. You're not talking with them. See, communication only happened if the other person got it. So every time I create a video, I'm always starting with what is the end result of what I'm conveying before I ever open my mouth up.
Mm.
I'm always thinking, what's the end result of what I'm about to say? And will they get it if I say it like this? Then I synthesize, okay, will they get it if I say it like this? Now I have to appease the parameters by which I'm working through, which is platform, algorithm, all the things to figure out how I need to configure it. But if nothing else, I'm always focused on being clear before I'm being clever.
Mm.
If I can find a way to be clever and clear, great. But if I got to sacrifice one of them, I'm gonna sacrifice being clever for the sake of being clear. I'm not confused, bro. I don't. Communication is a gift. Yes, I've worked on it, honed in on it, refined it over time, no doubt about it. I'm nowhere near the level by which I would call like a great communicator. Okay. However, one of the reasons why I've been super successful as a coach, whether that been in real estate or otherwise, as a business coach, one of the reasons why people have always watched my content and found it helpful over the years is because I'm clear. If I ain't nothing else, I'm going to be clear. And the only reason why, you know, God gifted me to take complex issues and things, and when I understand them, then I only know how to communicate them clearly to people. Because I don't talk about stuff I'm confused about. So one of the first things that can help you guys outside of hook story offer with your content is only talk about stuff you clear about. And if you ain't clear about it, then don't talk to them about it.
Mm.
Because not everybody confused. There's certain things that I learned that I get excited about, but I know the cake half baked. If I say this right now, it's gonna come out like vomit. Don't know. I don't fully understand it. I, as an example, last week we were talking about my man that's doing the AI business evaluation software, and I was telling you that I couldn't fully regurgitate everything he and I had talked about over that lunch, but I knew enough to be able to package and deliver the opportunity to the couple people that I had in mind with those businesses that could potentially benefit from the service, right?
Yeah.
That's my point. You see how consciously aware I was that I didn't really know it yet. That's why I didn't talk about it a whole lot. So one of the best ways to create better content is to only talk about things that you really understand. And then understand before you ever open your mouth up, what is the end goal for what I'm about to say? And then understand that while yes, you as the authority, there's going to be elements of your content where you're going to be talking to people, but then there also needs to be other elements of it where you're talking with people. And you certainly got to refrain from talking at people. Don't nobody want to get barked at every time they come look at your stuff.
I was a Rottweiler when I first started making content.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's the Kevin Samuels, and some of it is entertaining, but for the most part, people don't want you always giving them a sermon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, today is so and so, and you need to, like, know what you doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's talk about that. So, being personable, only talking at length about things that you truly understand, and the content should be focused less about you and more about what do you want them to get from this. If this was a video that I was making to a loved one, right? Like, what do I want them to walk away with? If they watch this, how does it make their life better? What can they do as a result of this? What perspective shift does this give them? What otherwise if you just like reading poetry to people, you know what I mean? It's like you're just talking about stuff that make you feel good about talking, but it don't make them better as a result of listening. I wouldn't create content if it wasn't about making people better, bro.
Mm. No, that's good. That's good. That's good. And there was a question in the chat because I see that we're coming up on time. I want to get to all the questions. The
Mm-hmm.
question is from Driving Dallas Streets. It said they said that they also have an AI app that they're developing, and they're like, what do you think is the best way to market it to potential users?
Demo it. The best way to prove to somebody that you can help them is to help them. So I would go find seriously, like
Yeah,
I would go find people that could be of use of that service, and I would tell them like, look, pro bono, we gonna run your whatever through here, whatever that the I don't know what their thing is, right? But I would legitimately demo it with as big of brands as you possibly could, right? So that then you tell them as a trade off, if I do this for you and it works, all I ask is just that we could, utilize you and leverage you in whatever marketing capacity.
that's good. They said they
I,
appreciate.
I would be look, somebody come do something to help me. Yeah, I'm your testimonial. I had to remind the lady who put together my podcast studio and all that. She about to run a challenge soon, and I was helping her with her layout and this and that. And I was like, why don't you just put a testimonial of me in there? She's like, that's a good idea. Right? Like I just believe in like you help me. I mean, why would I not? And so that's another thing for people out there, business owners, coaches, consultants. Like you can't be scared to ask people for testimonials. If you really helped them, now if you asking them to lie, that's different. But if you really helped them, to me, that's just reciprocity. Like I would do that in a heartbeat for somebody to give them a testimonial.
Mm, that's good.
Third party validation is always the best marketing tool. It's not about what you say about you, it's about what they say about you.
That's good. Man, that just helped me out. Man, and that's one thing. See, that's another thing that I realized that you do since we talking about also communication that and I believe and obviously we're created in God's image. So some of his traits, we have those traits as well. Because I wanted to make sure I worded this properly. But you could say a thing to one person that'll mean the same thing for 5 people. That's a whole different level of communication. But that's how God works as well. The word ain't just for you, right? Like people go to church and the sermon could be about love, and everybody like, oh man, I don't need to hear nothing about love. But then love will hit everybody in a different way, right? And I see you do that a lot, which is so cool to me because that's something that I want to learn as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
driving down the street said
I
they
I I,
appreciate
I
it.
try to because bro, honestly, I try to give advice from principles, not my opinion,
Mm,
so that it can work for more people that's listening.
that's good.
Right? Right now, you're representing hundreds, potentially thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of people just by sitting here asking me questions when they actually get the video and watch it.
Mm, that's good.
So, industry agnostic as much as possible. I'm just giving principles that it'll work regardless of what you're doing.
Wow. That just changed my whole perspective on giving advice. Because I'll be hearing people's opinions. I don't hear principles. I've never thought about that. That was good. So do you think that's an issue in today's world that people give too much advice from principles from their opinions and principles?
Yeah,
Man.
particularly because people don't operate in principles, and secondarily
Mm,
because people are entertained by opinions.
that-
Principles don't go viral, opinions do.
mm, that's good. I never thought about that. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Also, driving down the street said, "Thanks, I appreciate your help."
For sure.
Yeah, that's good. So last question, obviously before we run out of time, but I wanted to ask, how do you practice your communication? Because I want to start practicing more, right? Because there'll be times where um, I'll look at a book and I think about something that stood out, and I'll start just articulating about it just to myself, right? I'll be like, oh, and I think da 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 da. I do that sometimes about scripture, like on my car ride home from the gym. I was just articulating myself to God. I was like, hey, God, this is what I think about the word and think about what this says. Because one of the things that it said in Colossians, because I just read that whole book this morning, it's so funny how a small book can just have your mind blown. But I was reading it and it said that Christ is first in everything, right? And I was also just saying, I was like, Christ is not only everything just through creation purpose, because it said everything is created through him and for him. I was like, if Christ isn't first in your life, you're just disrespecting God's hierarchy, right? Because he's supposed to be first in everything you do, not just in creation alone. Right. So I was just articulating that. I think we are like, yeah, God is number one, but not only is he just number one because he was here first and everything was made through him, he needs to be number one in your life, right? In
Mhm.
everything that you're doing. So I was articulating it in that way because I think people just confuse, oh yeah, God's number one, or they say things about God, but I'm like, how is he being number one in your life? Not only is
Mhm.
he first because he is first,
Mhm.
and how is he first in your life? So I wanted to ask, how do you practice your articulation and just your communication with yourself?
Society is so stupid now. I got to practice being less. I got to practice being less articulate. Could you imagine that? Like I have to practice legitimately. I have to practice being less articulate
Wow.
because society is just so stupid.
Wow.
So yeah, that's crazy. But short of that, I think the thing that the only thing that I practice for is presentations.
Mm.
Everything else, the practice is on people.
Okay.
So every day, my practice is the people I talk to. Did they get what I said clearly?
Mm.
That to me, that's the only win or victory in communication is did they get what I said clearly? Because that's the start of it.
That's good.
They can't take any action from it if they didn't understand what you said clearly. So every day, that's how I work on my communication. Is whomever I'm communicating with, did they get what I was attempting to say clearly?
Mm. That's good.
And stylistically, I have to change my approach to communicating. Can't talk to my wife saying, well, I'll talk to others. She don't like that sometimes, you know. Um, so that's a different way of communicating to still get my point across and to make sure that she receives it,
Yeah.
right? Um, so yeah, I would for me I would say that's the bulk of my practice. That's because I don't do presentations every day, right? So
Yeah.
that's maybe once every 5, 6 weeks or something. Short of that, my biggest opportunity to practice is on people every single day.
Wow. No, that's good. It's so funny how you just were saying that you don't deem yourself as one of the great communicators, but wherever God takes me, you'll be deemed that for me.
Mm.
So it's funny that you because I just see the mind of improvement for you, right? Like you're just always trying to improve. But I know when I make it, I'm gonna be like, yo, one of the greatest communicators I ever heard was Brian Adamson.
Mm.
Because you put the life I wanted in the simplest terms I've ever heard it in my life. Ever. Like the life of greatness, you broke it down into little segments and pieces that I was able to digest. So even I don't care how old I get, I just know that what you've given to me now and what I'll be able to receive until literally God cracked the sky open, right? You'll be deemed as a great communicator to me because of the way you've been able to not only articulate complex thoughts, but helping me, giving me actionable steps I can take to
Mm.
get there. And I've never heard it that way before. So I'm just letting you know that because it's easy to, obviously a man like you, I know you're always trying to be great, always trying to improve. But yeah, man, like you in my top 5 communicators that I've heard. And you top 3, it's Darius, you, and Jerry Flowers right now.
Wow.
So
Wow. That's
yeah,
good company, bro. I like
yeah,
both of them brothers a lot, man.
yeah.
Um,
So and that's the only people I really listen. Like you in like I deem you as one of the people like if I don't listen to Brian, like like I'm like they not complete. Like I gotta listen to Brian somewhere throughout my week. Like I gotta listen. If it's the playback of this, if it's BNB, if it's the YouTube, if it's the Instagram content, like you're the first person I'm looking forward to listening to besides like Darius and Jerry Flowers. So like yeah,
yeah,
man.
that's good, bro. I
Yeah,
appreciate that, man. By his
yeah.
grace, and it just says a lot about you. Um, Leaders get inspired when they're around other leaders, and followers get intimidated. So it's the level of conviction and my presentation of the content sometimes can feel very direct, and everybody ain't ready for that, you know what I mean? So they shy away from it because it forces them to look introspectively if they care enough.
Yeah.
And so it just says if I'm your style of communication, it says a lot about who you are.
Mm,
I'll just put it that way.
that's good.
And for all the drive-by secret admirers, I appreciate y'all too. Who there every day but never hit that like button. But asking for advice on the sly. It's just crazy, but it's
Yeah.
part of it. It's
Yeah. You right.
part of
Yeah. I think because we don't nothing's direct anymore in this generation.
it. Yeah.
Preachings aren't even direct anymore. So talk less about you being a business owner, right? Successful at that, and you're being direct. You know how
Yeah.
many people like I. It's so funny because I got tired of fluff messages because I realized it was never getting me anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
why would I ask you to fluff greatness? You can't.
Yeah.
There's no way to
Trust me, bro. It's beyond me. I don't
like
understand it.
yeah, but
Yeah.
preachers aren't even, giving direct messages. People be leaving stuff out, right? They don't want to be as direct because of the congregation. It's like, do you care about people getting a message or about you staying up there? You know what I'm saying?
No,
And you like, listen,
people don't want to mess up them pockets. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'm
yeah,
telling you, right before this, which I gotta jump, but before this, I had a podcast with a guy. He doing like nine figure real estate deals down in Dallas. But he a believer. We had a great conversation about all kind of things that's gonna upset a
mm,
lot of the black community. But it is what it is, man. I ain't pandering to nobody. I ain't got to. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I'm here to speak the truth, or I just shut my mouth. I ain't about to get on here playing around. It take
right,
time, energy, effort, resources. Paying people to put the stuff out. I'm gonna say what's real. You know what I mean? And hopefully you find it helpful and insightful because it ain't to talk about me. I could do that without all the other things.
yeah,
So that's it.
that's good.
Do we have any last comments or anything? I gotta.
Nah, yeah, we good. Ain't no last comments, ain't no questions. Yeah, we good.
All right. If y'all watching this on the replay, leave comments below. Let us know. Help. Please tell me. Did the content framework, hook, story, offer, only talk about the things you can go deep on? Think about, is it going to be clearly received from the people you communicating it to? and make sure that you're not just being a good speaker, but you're actually being a good communicator. If those things resonates with you to help you to push past the emotion, the mood, and all the things that's causing you to be inconsistent, by all means, let me know. P, appreciate you as always, bro. And
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be on a cruise, so we won't see y'all next week, but we will the following. Peace.
Enjoy that, my man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.